Hello again, 7th graders. Today in this video, we're going to pick up on these notes from yesterday and add a little more visual to them, and hopefully that's going to help in your understanding of what's occurring in cellular respiration and photosynthesis. It's going to be a much shorter notes video than yesterday, but like I said, we're going to get a little visual to it. Before we jump into that, I want to talk a little bit more about these formulas. If you are looking at these chemical formulas, the stuff that is before the arrow is often referred to as the raw materials. So those are the things that are needed for the process to happen. Just like if you were building a house, the raw materials would be the cement block. You would have all of the lumber. You would have the siding, the shingles, the plywood, all of those sort of ingredients. Just like if you were making cookies, you would have ingredients for the recipe. So the stuff before the arrow is called the raw materials or the reactants. And I'm going to go ahead and label that. I'm just going to take my highlighter and put a box around those two groups and label those. And the stuff that is located after the arrow are called the products. They're the things that are made or produced in the reaction. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a label quick. I'll use a different color so we can color code it. I just wanted to point that out to you. Some of you, it may have been obvious that the stuff that's after the arrow, that's a product that's produced. But if it wasn't, hopefully this points that out to you. What we're going to do next is I'm going to add another page to my notes. So like yesterday, we're going to tap in the top right corner, and so the page is highlighted here. I'm going to tap these three dots and add a page. Now we're going to do two diagrams on this page. So the first one will be about cellular respiration. So I'm going to label that. Often we think of cellular respiration as being done by animals. It is done by plant cells also, but generally we're talking about things that have to eat. That's just how it's often thought of, but plant cells do this. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to start just by doing a simple drawing of an animal. And so you can make the animal drawing of your choice. Mine is going to be very crude, just in the interest of time. I am going to draw a cat. Okay? I apologize, I'm a terrible artist. But I've got my cat here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the things that the cat needs and the things that are produced through the cellular respiration. So our cat is going to get glucose, and it's going to get glucose through its food. So we're going to write the word glucose here, and maybe make yourself a little cat dish. With some food in it. And then I'm just going to draw an arrow towards the cat's mouth because it's going to take in glucose through its food. And then another thing that is needed for cellular respiration is oxygen. And the cat is going to get oxygen from where? the air, just like we do. So I'm going to just simply write the word oxygen. And the cat's going to be breathing that oxygen in. Now, once the chemical reaction happens, that cat is going to have some energy. And that energy comes in the form of something called ATP. Stands for adenosine triphosphate, but we're not really concerned with the fancy name, but that's what the letters stand for. And then the products that are produced need to be gotten rid of. And so your cat is going to breathe out carbon dioxide. Into the air, and it's also going to be breathing out water, because you have water vapor. If you ever breathe down a window or on a mirror, you notice that it fogs up, and that's the water vapor. So they also are going to be breathing out water. And some of it is also gotten rid of through sweat, which is not necessarily part of this, but they do lose water through sweat and also going to the bathroom. But a lot of it is gotten rid of by simply exhaling. And so that's just like a simple visual breakdown of what's happening in cellular respiration. In this second picture, we're going to deal with photosynthesis. So I'm going to make a label for that. And we're going to start this one simply by drawing a tree. Or you could draw some other plant if you just wanted to draw some grass. So I'm going to go ahead with my tree. Maybe draw some grass along here. So we're just starting on with a simple drawing. So for photosynthesis to occur, the tree needs some things. It needs those raw materials. And so it's going to start with carbon dioxide. And that carbon dioxide is going to be absorbed through the leaves. So we'll just write the words carbon dioxide and draw an arrow going into the leaves. Remember that the formula for carbon dioxide is CO2. I didn't put those in the last one. The other raw material that is needed for photosynthesis to occur is water. And the tree is going to get water through its roots. So we'll write water underground here. We're just going to draw an arrow going into the bottom of the tree trunk, just like the roots would be. Now these are your raw materials. However, we also need some energy from the sun. So we need to draw some light energy. So I'm just simply going to draw a very simple sun. And draw an arrow towards the plant so it is absorbing it, and label that as light energy. And that light energy helps this reaction get started. It's necessary for it to happen. That's why it doesn't happen in the dark. This process only occurs when there is sunlight available, or artificial sunlight. Okay, so this process occurs, and what's going to be produced? So the products of photosynthesis are glucose, and that glucose is often stored in the plant for later use. And so sometimes it's stored in the roots, depends on the type of plant, how they're going to store it. And so I'm just going to write the word glucose here. And glucose has a long chemical formula. It is C6H12O6, which means it's got 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, and 6 oxygens. And that glucose, as I said, most of it is stored inside of the plant. And then also produced is oxygen. And some of that oxygen is needed for respiration, but there is extra oxygen that is also produced, and that is going to be released through the leaves of the plant also. And so we'll write the word oxygen here. And the form of oxygen that is produced is O2. That's the gas form of oxygen that we breathe. So that's why we use O2 as our formula. And there we have it, a real simple representation of photosynthesis and respiration. Okay, hopefully this is helpful just to visualize it a little bit. And we'll go from here. Have a great day.